Right, okay guys, welcome to the Friday Waffle, and it is indeed getting recorded at 16:47 on the 30th of November, which I make that to be Friday. It's the weekend, thank goodness. I've still got my cold. Now, I'm not a big fan of people that say man flu. I mean, it's not the flu I've got. If you've got the flu, you simply can't get out of your bed. It's the cold. Fortunately, I don't get ill very often, and so when I do get ill, I take it very ill out. No pun intended. I kind of picked it up last Thursday, I think it was. I think I mentioned it in the Friday Waffle, and I didn't think it was going to come to very much. And then on the Saturday, what was I doing? On Saturday, I went to the park run. I was volunteering in the park run. In fact, you know what? I think I mentioned this to you because I actually did the Friday Waffle last Saturday. Yeah, I did. And basically, I felt when I came back, I felt like total shit. I felt really, really ill. Yeah, I'd gone for a walk on the Saturday later on, and it was quite cold, and I just felt awful. And for the last 5 or 6 days, I felt really shitty. It's that horrible thing where you're lying in your bed, you're freezing cold, but you're absolutely dripping with sweat. The bed is soaking wet with sweat, yet you're feeling cold. So I've been taking paracetamol every 4 hours. What was quite funny was I went to Asda, and I picked up 2 packets of paracetamol, a packet of sort of Asda's own Lemsip, and also little flu capsule things. I'm not a big fan of taking medicine. I know you're thinking, well, wait a minute, you've just bought 4 packets of it, because I tend to think it doesn't really work, but this has been getting me down the last sort of week, so I thought I better get something. And the girl said to me in the checkout, sorry, you can only buy 2, and I went, why? She says, because you're only allowed to buy 2. You're only allowed to buy 2 products that contain paracetamol in any one transaction. So I said to her, so in other words, if I pay for them, I can then pay for the next 2 separately. And she's like, I didn't say that, so that's what I had to do. So I've been using them all week. I'm feeling, I've still got a cough, as you can tell. I mean, I was at the pictures last night and I was coughing quite a bit, and it's so annoying because when you know you can't cough, when you know you absolutely can't cough, you cough, and you're like that, and you can feel it tickling your throat, and you're conscious that everybody else in the pictures can hear you coughing, and you're not wanting to cough, but it makes you cough. You know what? Tough shit. So I'm just looking at my phone down here. You might notice it's the picture's slightly brighter. It's because I've got a little lamp sitting here, a little table lamp. I did have it pointing in my face, and it just made my face look far too bright. So hopefully this is going to improve the quality slightly. I'm not using my. I'm just using the built-in. Well, it's not a built-in. It's a Logitech. A Logitech webcam. It's not the greatest. It's meant to be 1080p, but I don't think the quality is anywhere near that. But I wanted to get the waffle done tonight nice and early because my mate Neil, I was tempted to get him to join me for the waffle, but Neil's actually coming up. I was going to say to help me. I think it's going to be Neil's going to do it and I'm going to watch him do it. I've got some new buttons and joysticks for my MAME cab, so Neil has very kindly offered, or did I ask him? I think it might have been the latter. He's going to swap them over, so that'll probably take a while tonight. So I wanted to get the waffle done and dusted beforehand. So this week, what have I been doing? Work-wise, it's mental busy. I'm not even going to talk about it. It's just insanely busy. So I'm always happy when Friday arrives. I'm always happy when 5 o'clock arrives, actually. So what have I been doing? I've not been playing. I played a tiny little bit of Red Dead Redemption 2. Oh, yes. No, it wasn't yesterday. It was yesterday. I played it for about half an hour. I've not been playing... I've not been playing anything else at all. Nothing at all. And the reason, I mean, I've not got my daughter this week. My daughter's with her mother. the reason I've not been putting out any videos apart from the video I did yesterday with my mate Alan's Spectrum kind of bedroom coding is because I've been feeling like shit. I have literally been at work, having a bath, or having my dinner, having a bath, and going to my bed. Because, you know, the bath was the only way I can get heat into me. So I've been feeling pretty sorry for myself. And that's why I've simply not done anything. I'm not doing any videos when you're feeling like shit. The last thing you want to do is sit in front of a computer and make videos. Although I have to do that when I'm working. Although I don't make videos, I work. But so I've not been doing anything at all gaming wise. Yeah, nothing at all. I've not got anything to even really talk about. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump straight into the questions from that there YouTube people. Before I start off, thanks for all the kind of the positive comments I had regarding the men's health podcast that I mentioned last week. You know, there's been a lot of real positive things coming out of that, which is excellent. Right, first up is Quahod. Hey, what's in the tank? Now he's referring to, I've got if you watched Laugh last week's Friday Waffle, you'll see on my left, but it's on your right hand side, is a vivarium, and it's a what's he called? He's called a Aki monitor called Wink. He's my daughter's, but he lives with me, and I've got to feed him, and I've got to look after him. He's about that size from tip to toe. He's not particularly big. He's quite a nice little guy, actually. He eats live bugs. He'll not eat dead bugs. I don't know why. They've got to be alive. Obviously, he's thinking, well, if they're dead, they're not fresh. So yeah, he lives in there, and that's why sometimes on some videos you'll hear what is only the sound of crickets, and it's because that is the sound of crickets. Because yeah, he won't always eat them right away, so these little things, they chirp when they're trying to attract a female. They rub, I think it's their legs, or is it their wings? No, they don't fly. They've got these little, they look like wings type thing, I don't know what they are. And they basically rub them together. Or is it their legs? No, I think it's the wings. Kid on wings, we'll call them kid on wings. They rub the little kid on wings together, and that makes what sounds like a chirping noise. It's actually the sound of the wings rubbing. So that is what is in the tank. Next up, Dean, Vinny Corleone. Nice to see you, Dean. Thanks for commenting, mate. I love the look of the new 64 Mini and may consider obtaining one next year along with the new PS1 Classic Mini. They would look fantastic if nothing else, just sitting on the shelf in the games room of love. Yeah, you know what, Dean, I mean, the C64 Mini does look, it's super cute. It's a little mini Commodore 64. Although you'll notice, if you get one, it's not called, there is no mention of the word Commodore, because obviously it's not, they've not had the license to call it a Commodore, so it's just called the Mini 64. I don't think I would buy it just to display it, because it's a lot of money. I mean, it's typically, I got it for £52, I think it was, and then in the Black Friday thing, Amazon were knocking it out for 41, so if I'd waited a couple of days, I would have got it for probably 10 quid cheaper. But yeah, really, really good. I like it, apart from I need to try and get a better joystick, because the joystick that it comes with isn't the greatest. But PS1 Mini Classic, nah, it's not for me at all. I know Lawn Boys Post 1975, Dave I watched this video a few days ago, and Dave was basically saying how when you look at the love that goes into the Nintendo Minis, you know, you've got your SNES Mini, you've got your NES Mini, even the Commodore 64 thing. The SNES and the NES ones, they've got the different filters, the whole presentation, the whole front end is really, really nice. You know, you can do save points, you can rewind. They've put a lot of attention. They've not just bunged it out as quick as possible. they've taken a lot of time to try and make it something that people are going to want to buy. Because I think they realise that there's a lot of love out there for... What's that sketch? There's a sketch in the... Is it the Fast Show? The guy can't stop coughing. There's one sketch where he's waiting. He sits patiently waiting to... for is it a badger or something to come out. I'll see if I can find the sketch actually and put a wee link up above. And basically he waits for hours for this badger to come in. As soon as the badger comes, he starts coughing and he's chased. This thing gets a fright and runs back in. But yeah, I feel like I'm like that guy. Can't stop coughing. But the more aware you are of it, the more you want to kind of cough. What was I talking about? Yeah, the 64 Mini, the SNES Mini, NES Mini. There's a lot of love has been put in to these machines. But the point Dave was making, he says that the PlayStation Mini has just been flung together. He says there is virtually no options at all. I think, is there some CRT scan lines or something? I don't know. Go and watch Dave's video, but he's basically just saying how they've just thought, how can we make a quick buck? You know, they've stuck out an emulator. Is it the PSX EX or something it's called? Go and watch Dave's video. Anyway, he goes obviously into far more detail than I can, but Dave was saying that Dave is one of the original, he bought his PS1 on import. He paid silly money for it. He says he's a massive PlayStation fan and he is quite enraged about the lack of love that the PlayStation Mini has been given, and he says he might not buy it. So I don't know, but I don't think I'll buy it. I'm not really. I think I've peaked as far as selling stuff goes. As far as buying stuff for a collection. I had that. I went through that whole thing wanting to buy, I need this, I need that, and, you know, buying things on eBay and all this kind of stuff. I've now got what I want, and I've been downgrading, I've been selling stuff, albeit I've been selling stuff that I've got duplicates of. So, yeah, but anyway, as far as Dean's saying, yeah, the C64 Mini does look really nice. I wouldn't go spending 60 quid just to have it displayed. I mean, it's actually a really nice bit of hardware. And as far as the PS1 Classic Mini goes, nah, not for me, I don't think. So anyway, Dean, thanks for the comment, mate. Right, the next up, Mr. Ever Reliable, Kevin, down the rabbit hole. Excuse me. I was playing a Pong machine this week, and I was wondering, do you play many Pong type or paddle games anymore? Honest answer, Kev, no. The only game I do play that requires a paddle is Arkanoid. Arkanoid is still one of my favourite arcade games. I loved it on Atari ST. I loved it even more on the Commodore Amiga. You know, the mouse is perfect control system for it. I've got a trackball for my main cab, and the trackball works pretty well as a spinner because it's analog, so it does work pretty well. But the Arkanoid is the only paddle type game I'll ever play. I mean, I'll occasionally play. Is it Crackout? I think it was on the Commodore 64. Impact was another good one on the Commodore Amiga. Did it come out in the ST as well? I think it probably did. That was released by Audiogenic, if I'm not mistaken. It didn't look as nice as Arkanoid, but the one thing that really set it off for me was it had digitised sound. And back in 1987, 1988, whenever it was, digitised sound was like, wow, this is incredible, and you'd buy a game because it had real sound. But these are basically Arkanoid type games, Kev, are the only ones I would play. I played Pong briefly with Neil when we were playing that Binatone thing, but Pong was dull in 1978 and it's dull now as far as I'm concerned. But I still love your oh no, it's not a Pong machine you've got, Kev, it's a computer space, isn't it, you've got? Lucky bugger, yeah. Anyway, secondly, was there ever a game you played competitively with a chum on the couch? And have the two of you ever tried playing it in recent years to see who's still the best at playing it? There was lots of games that I used to play with my mates back in the day, Kev. My mate who probably I played... There was probably two mates that I played the Commodore 64. I didn't really play many two-player games on the Amiga. But the Commodore 64, I did play a lot of two-player games. I had two mates. One was Grant and one was a guy called Robert. Robert, I've not seen him since, I don't know, 1986, 1985. So I don't know what that would be, 33 years. I've not seen him for a long, long time. He might not even be alive. I don't know. We used to play games like Hustler, by Bubble Bus. We used to play Track and Field, Daley Thompson's Decathlon. We used to play International Soccer. We used to play a game called Super Fruit, which was, again, all on the Commodore 64. It was a fruit machine simulator. Very, very basic. But that was released by Commodore. Yeah, I used to play a lot of that. And then my mate Grant, who I'm still pals to with this day, we used to play stuff like, We Have the Exploding Fist. The problem is now, Grant is married, he's got two kids, I hardly see him, and he's not the slightest into computers. He's got a PlayStation 4, but he's not remotely into these old games anymore, so I don't have anybody to play them with, unfortunately, Kev. I mean, one of my favourite games that I used to enjoy playing at the computer club was, what do you call it? Rocket Ball. Brilliant game. I have done a video of it at some point, but yeah, I don't have anyone to play them with, unfortunately, Kev. And finally, remembering back to your youth, when you were leaning over your Commodore 64 and hearing everyone tell you that computer games are nothing but a waste of time, did it ever occur to you that one day these games would make as much money as major motion pictures? When, in your opinion, did that change for video games? No. I mean, back in 1985, I had no concept of it. We just embraced it for what it was. I didn't ever think this is going to get massive. I knew it was an exciting hobby. But when you're playing stuff like Bruce Lee, you would kind of think to yourself, I wonder if one day we're going to be playing games where it's like realistic. And here we are. You've got stuff like Red Dead Redemption 2, you've got, Grand Theft Auto 5, you've got all these games that are just ridiculously realistic looking. But it's not, I don't think it's something I certainly don't think about the future too much. I mean, I don't really think to myself, I wonder what games in 30 years time are going to be like. Chances are I will not be there to witness them. I'll probably be dead at that point, which is a rather cheery thought. But yeah, I don't really think about what are things going to be like in 30 years time, and it was the same back in 1985. I never really gave it much thought as to what games are going to be like. But yeah, games now, the budgets are just incredible. I would say, I think 16-bit games were still, 8-bit games, there was a lot of single bedroom coders. Later on, when Ocean started putting out your big licensed films and that kind of stuff, then there was teams kind of grew up. And then obviously the 16-bit machines, again, there was teams, maybe 2 or 3 people. I couldn't believe when I interviewed Sean Southern that Lotus Challenge was only him and this other guy. 2 people worked on that game. I kind of had it in my head there was tens of people, but there was only 2 people. But I think when PC games started getting more complicated, stuff like is it 11th Guest, no, 7th Guest, 7th Guest, I think it's called. There was stuff like Wing Commander. Some of the big blockbuster PC games were obviously the teams that put them together were getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But I think things really changed once the 32-bit machines, the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, maybe even slightly before that, possibly when it was even the PlayStation, I think. You know, the teams got bigger and bigger and bigger. And now, if you've ever looked at the credits on a current system game, you look at the credits on Red Dead Redemption 2, and it just runs on and on and on and on. Because these games are mind-blowing, and, you know, I don't know how many people actually work in them, and the budgets for these games must be incredible. And that's what people don't realise. People still think of, you know, they still think of, oh, stupid computer games. They don't realise that these stupid computer games bring in more revenue than the latest Tom Cruise film. So, yeah, so I reckon it was probably about when the Xbox 360 kind of kicked off, Kev. I reckon that was probably when the budgets really started to go skyward. But anyway, Kev, thanks very much for the questions, as always. I do appreciate it. Next up, Mr. Ian Hunter. Hi, Alan. A quick question for the Waffle. There are some unbelievable games to play at the moment, but there is also a lot of shite. Across all computers and consoles, which is the worst game you have ever paid money for? Mine was undoubtedly Bionic Granny for the Commodore 64. Oh, blimey. What is the worst game you've paid money for? The worst game... I've bought a few stinkers in my time, Kev, but I think the worst game that I went halfers with, me and my mate Ian, because we didn't have much money. We both worked, but we didn't have a lot of money. What we used to do is, he had an Amiga, I had an Amiga. Each month we would decide on a game we're going to buy, and we would both put, 20 quid, whatever it was, towards the game. We would buy the game, and we'd take it in turns to own the game. So, 1 month we would pick a game, and it'd be my game to keep. The following month we'd buy another game, and it'd be Ian's game. I think the worst game that I can remember paying good money for was Street Fighter on the Commodore Amiga. I will put a little video of it playing up above. It is a woeful game. The arcade Street Fighter is bloody diabolical. I mean, I'm not talking about Street Fighter 2, I'm talking about the original Street Fighter. In the arcades, it had the big pads that you punched. But you lost all that with the home computer versions, but it was awful, absolutely awful. There's been a lot of terrible games, but that, without a shadow of doubt, I would say is probably the worst game. There's probably been worse games, but I might only spent $1.99 on it. But no, I think Street Fighter on the Commodore Amiga was probably the worst one. It was like 30-40 quid, and it was an awful game, absolutely dreadful. So anyway, thanks Ian for the question, buddy. Right, next up, GTB Films. That's my mate Alan. Now, Alan was a programmer of these Spectrum games that I was playing the other day there. Got myself an Amazon Echo Spot in the Black Friday sale. Sadly, I have to say I'm pretty unimpressed after all the hype. It got me wondering, are there any retro examples, software or hardware, where the marketing raised your hopes and you were left disappointed? I remember buying a palm organiser to read my handwriting, only to find... oddly, it's... Right, it just stops. I don't know what happened there, Alan. You must have pressed return. Software-wise, well, we're just talking about that. I'm trying to think. For me, I can't think of any game that I thought, this is going to be amazing, and it's like, it's crap. But there was games that I didn't buy, and I know they fell into that category. The most famous one is obviously Rise of the Robots. Rise of the Robots was hyped beyond belief. Now, I remember seeing screenshots of it, getting made, and it was... Terminator 2 hadn't long been out in the cinema, and this whole sort of metallic, the molten metal that turns into different things, it was really, really popular. And Rise of the Robots just looked amazing. There was all these screenshots in different magazines. It looked incredible. And when the game was finally released, I think it had a big budget. When the game was finally released, it did not live up to all the hype. Now, I'm not going to say it's one of the worst games ever. I have played it. It is dull, no question of it. If it was sold as a $1.99 game, you'd probably think it was alright, for the graphics. But I think the reason it gets the label as being one of the worst games ever is because of the price and the hype. It was hyped. It was going to be the best thing ever. And when it came out, it was like, this is a bit pants. Any other game? I remember the only other game that I can, and this is probably a bit of a trend, the only game that I can remember buying based on how wonderful it was meant to be, and then when I got it, I'm like, right, this is a bit rubbish, was, what do you call it, Black and White by Peter Molyneux. You basically controlled, I hardly played it, I just got bored of it. You played the party of little villagers, and you controlled what could only be described as a large animal. There was like tigers and God knows whatever, and they were supposed to have this really, really amazing artificial intelligence, and the reality was they didn't. It was bugged beyond belief. The AI wasn't that good, and I remember playing it thinking, this isn't that good, and I stopped playing it very, very quickly. I know Peter Molyneux's he's come under attack, and that's probably why he's not even. Peter Molyneux was huge. He came up. He was the one that was behind Populous, which created its own its own game genre. But sadly, Peter Molyneux, he was a victim of his own success or lack of success. He would tell people how amazing his games were going to be, how they're going to have all this incredible AI and whatever, you can do this, you can do that, and the reality was it always fell short. So yeah, Black and White was disappointing. Any other game that I think, or what about hardware wise? Again, the N64. I did like the N64 when I had Super Mario 64, but I was never a fan of it. I wouldn't say I was disappointed with it, I just didn't really get on with it. I can't think of any bit of hardware. One thing, and I do like this machine, the Nintendo Wii. You all know how amazingly successful it was. It was the one machine that transcended sort of ages. Your granny could play the Wii. There was people who never played video games were buying the Wii because of the interactivity. It was all motion controlled. And when you play games like Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort, which is an absolutely amazing game, by the way, you need the extra little add-on, the little Remote Plus, whatever it's called. Brilliant game. But sadly, apart from Nintendo, most of the other companies, they never really fully utilised the motion control. About the extent you got to motion control with these games was, you get to a door and you've got to go like that to sort of open the door, or you've got to go like that to pick something up, and it felt like it had been bolted on just for the sake of it. So I don't think the Wii remote never really got fully utilised, but play Wii Sports Resort and it's an amazing, the controls have been honed and shined to perfection. It's an amazing game, but sadly Nintendo seem to be the only people that could actually really get the best from it. But yeah, I think that's about it, Alan. As far as Amazon Echo, what do I use mine for? I use mine for playing music, telling the weather, ask it what the weather forecast is going to be. Very occasionally I'll ask it, something, what's the capital of France or something. I'll ask it a bit of general knowledge just because I'm stuck. But generally the weather and playing music. You can do a lot more other things with it. But the problem for me is you've got to know the commands. You've got to install the little add-on onto the app on your phone. And you've got to know how to ask it to do something. So I don't bother. I just, like I said, I use it for playing music. and telling me what the weather, and I also occasionally use it for keeping a note of my my shopping list. But you know what, Alan, for 50 quid, I don't know what you paid for it. It's pretty cool. I mean, go back to 1985 and you imagine if somebody said to you in the year 2018 you're going to have this thing, a speaker, and all you need to do is ask it to play a song and it will play it. Anything, any song at all, and it will play it. That would have been like witchcraft, and here we are, we've got it. So I do like it for that. You know, there's other things you can use it for, controlling your lighting and your heating and turning things on and off. I don't bother with that. You know, like I says, playing music and keeping a shopping list and the weather, and that is about it. So anyway, cheers Al for the, well, it's not a question as such. Oh yeah, it was a question actually, yeah. Legendary Whizball, wouldn't mind getting the mini, don't need it as my Ouya or Ouya or whatever. Ouya, how would you pronounce that? O-U-Y-A. And the original Xbox, play the games fine, but it doesn't work with a lot of USB arcade sticks. Next up, Panther UK, top notch waffleization, mate. Glad the mini is performing and I haven't recommended a lemon. Even though you get the old style times, having the tape files load as a proper trip down memory lane and the music speaks for itself. I think the mini is using Vice 2.4. It's a PlayStation 2 controller I've been using, and I get what you say about using a joystick on the C64, but I've got so used to using a PlayStation pad over the last 20 years, I think I prefer it for a lot of games now, although you can't beat an arcade stick for a frantic shoot 'em up. Well done you for highlighting male depression. It's not spoken about enough for all the reasons you mentioned. Yeah, I mean, I just happened to mention the podcast which my mate Andy does with Tim Tucker. If you've not checked it out, go and check it out, guys. So, right, Chris is asking a few questions. Number one, sticking with the mini, have you come across anything you haven't seen for years and got a massive nostalgia kick? I can't say I have, Chris. I mean, I've just been playing games that I've played normally. I sometimes, like what you're saying, I sometimes just enjoy picking a game I've not played for a while and loading it up, the old style loading. I'll sit for 20 minutes and listen to music. Not 20 minutes, 5 minutes, listen to music. I just savour the whole loading thing. So no, I can't say there's been any one particular game. Number two, when your main cab is fixed, what will be your test the joystick game? Well, hopefully I'm getting it fixed tonight, if Neil can pull the stops out. It's going to be 1942 and Robotron, probably. Looking forward to getting it working properly. Number three, what game will get the most play now? Red Dead Redemption 2 on the PS4 or International Soccer on the Mini? My heart would love to say International Soccer, but I'm going to have to go for Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah, International Soccer I don't know how many hours I played that game. I mean, hours and hours and hours. I must have played it every day for about a couple of years. Would I play it so much now? Probably not. Number four, summer games, winter games or world games. It's always got to be summer games. I mean, the original summer games, me and my mate Shug and all his mates, I mean, we used to, sometimes there was maybe 5 or 6 of us huddled round the Commodore 64 playing summer games. I was the best at the skeet shooting. I could always get 25 out of 25, and you really felt like you had succeeded in winning something. When you got that gold medal and they played the national anthem, you really felt proud, which is ridiculous. It's just a computer game. But yeah, really, really good. Winter games, I always thought that the graphics weren't as polished. Yeah, they were a bit more colourful, but they just didn't have the same shine or animation, so I was always a wee bit disappointed. And so that was winter games I'm talking about. World games, I wasn't really into half the events. Like the cliff diving wasn't interested in. The bull, whatever it is, what do you call it? You're riding the back of a bull. Bull riding, wasn't interested in that at all. About the only 2 things that I liked about World Games was, I think I had ice skating as well. The only 2 things I liked about that was the barrel jumping. I enjoyed that event, and the bagpipes when you're doing Toss the Caber. I didn't actually enjoy the Toss the Caber event, but the bagpipes is probably my most impressive, or the sound effect on the C64 that I think's so impressive. If you've not heard it, listen to this. Yeah, just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I don't know how they managed it. Number 5, do you ever still play the annoying yet addictive Tetris? And if so, in what system? I do indeed, Chris, and I play it on the Game Boy. That's the system that I played it on back in the day, and it's, to me, it is the best controls. It fits perfectly. To me, it's always going to be the Game Boy, the original Game Boy. It just doesn't feel right. I mean, there's a new version for the PSVR which has been getting rave reviews. I just can't I can't bring myself to pay 30 quid for an old game, and it's just got all these fancy backgrounds. I don't know, but nah, Game Boy Tetris every time. Number 6, this isn't really a question, but try to get the Bubble Bobble tune out of your head now I've mentioned it. Ding 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 ding. Yep, thanks for that, Chris. Thanks for the questions. Mark, I should say even. 20th Century Gaming, great to see you bring men's health awareness to the community. I will check out the lad's channel. I've been a trained counsellor for 6 years now and heard just about everything, and has been amazed how resilient people can become with help. Good stuff, Alan. Thanks, Mark. Sanuki Munjul, hope I've pronounced that properly. I've been toying with getting a C64 Mini for a couple of months now. I've tried using RetroPie, but although a lot of other emulators work fine, the Commodore 64 ones are a royal pain, and the game loading time is like 1983 speed, i.e. 45 minutes. I see Amazon have the C64 Mini for £24 today. So yeah, I think I'm going to buy one, although how it copes with multi-disc games like the Bard's Tale and Ultima 4 and 5, I do not know. As for Lamasoft, I was a fan of lots of his games until I found out he was an Iron Hoof. Oh dear me. I did mention in the Mini thing that in fact I've not put the video out yet. Actually, it does not support multiple disc games without a lot of fanning about. So if you want to play a lot of multiple disc games, it might not be the thing for you to buy. Yeah, and Andy, aka Jamie Williamson, that picture on the wall being way off centre is seriously messing with my OCD now. Jamie's talking about, or Andy is talking about, not the photograph. I've got a painting behind my settee that I sat in last week to do the Friday Waffle, and it's off centre. That was deliberate. And no, not lastly yet. Dead Thumb Gamer, ages ago on this unnamed forum, before I knew that games and collectors were on YouTube, I was looking through a guy's pics of his consoles. One console in particular, he had so many that they covered the square footage of the room. At least that's how it appeared in the picture. I recall asking this same guy why he was hoarding these consoles. Of course he took offence. However, he stated that the console was his favourite, and it was his choice to do so, which is true, and he is, yeah. Now that I've been around the Tuberverse for ages, I'm now in awe of people which have similar collections. Seeing such a thing is definitely a wow moment. It doesn't mean that person is any better than someone that has a single console and a few games. It just means that they wanted them and were able to obtain them, which is cool to a degree. See, I don't agree with that. There's something sad about seeing somebody with like 30 of the same consoles of the same machine. Why? What's the point of that? What are they trying to prove? What are they trying to prove? Are they trying to... I don't know. I don't get it. I'm sorry, I do not get it. By all means, if it's their favourite machine, have a few, have some spares. But for the purpose of just, I've got 30 Commodore 64s, I don't get that at all. You're basically stopping other people using them. It's their money at the end of the day. So, Doug Scullery, my favourite 3 mental health games: Manic Depressive Minor, Bipolar Position, and of course the classic Asperger's Time. Don't ban me, Alan, I can't help myself. Brilliant. Mark Felton, I think the game you were thinking of was Squidge, but it was the Spectrum version that was broken. Chinny Vision uses an SD card for his MSX that you should check out his videos. Did you see TaskSet Software did an interview at Blackpool? I think the Retro Hour did it. Aye, I did. I'm not a big fan of the Retro Hour interviews. I don't know. I just think they're a bit. Call it jealousy, possibly. I don't know. I just think they're a bit dry. There's not a lot of humour in the interviews. Maybe that's just me. Lo-fi lurch as opposed to hi-fi lurch. Probably your computers that were working then stopped working need to have their capacitors replaced. You're probably right, and I am the wrong person to do that. I have not got a clue when it comes to any electronically stuff. Mr. Williamson again. Tim Tucker was off Amiga Power magazine. Tisk Alan, I have to say your collection of classic gaming books is impressive and puts my own to shame. The Supercade one in particular looks incredible. Yeah, that's a great book. Tim Tucker, I knew he worked for a magazine. I couldn't remember what one though, Andy. Nifty retro gamer Neil, good stuff. I must admit I have issues with anxiety and a little depression. I see a psychologist weekly to help me reorder my thoughts. I guess you could say I'm not medicated because I've not been down that road and I don't like how it dulls your mind. I'd rather feel stressed and like a zombie. Anyway, it's good that you spent time to talk about the podcast, and although it's never an easy subject, I hope it helps others who might be thinking what to do to feel encouraged to listen in. Yeah, no, I'm sorry to hear that, Neil. I wasn't aware of that, mate. But like I says, it affects so many people. It's so common. You should never ever think that you're alone suffering from mental anguish, stress, depression. You know, go and talk to somebody about it. And please go and check out the Emotional Cripples podcast, which was on last week's Friday Waffle. You'll get a lot out of it. And the last one, it is the last one. Colin Jones, for me the biggest fail of the C64 Mini is the lack of a full C64 keyboard. Yeah, I think probably everyone would agree there, Colin. I did take back a game once, not for a refund but for an exchange for a different title, because it was really terrible. The game was Protector by Rabbit Software on the C64. Is that kind of Scramble? I think I do remember that one actually. There are a few things more irritating than a failed sneeze. Yeah, I was trying to get a sneeze out last Waffle and I couldn't manage it. And finally, a question. You said one of the things about the C64 Mini is a good picture on a modern TV. Have you thought about adding a hardware mod to a real Commodore 64 called a Lumafix 64 that, with a lot of initial turning off the setting potentiometers, oh, you've lost me already, Colin, greatly improves the picture in today's TV? I've got to say, my C64, I've got it plugged into my CRT TV using an RGB SCART socket, and to me it looks dog's bollocks. I've got absolutely no experience with hardware, adding chips or potentiometers, whatever the hell they're called, so it's not for me, Colin. I'm quite happy with my SCART thing. But anyway, listen, that is all the questions. Thank you very much for everyone that took time to ask questions. I was going to say a short waffle. It's 44 minutes. I'm going to get going now because I'm just waiting for Neil. He's going to be coming at 7:30 and it is now 19:31, so hopefully Neil's going to be here any time and we're going to get this MAME cab up and running. Hopefully we'll get it up and running. What I might actually do is record Neil fixing it and then I might stick a video out, maybe fast forward it just for a bit of a laugh. So anyway guys, listen, you have a wonderful weekend. Thank you again to all the continued support, comments. Again, I'm sorry for being a complete dickhead. I'm not replying to comments. the YouTube thing is not taking up as much time. I'm not prepared to put as much effort into YouTube as I did at one time, and I know that sounds a bit of an arsey thing. I've just got other things that I need to kind of get on with at the moment, but I will try and get out more videos next week. And finally, guys, as always, thank you very, very much for watching. Have a great weekend. See ya.